Hey, it's Lisa here with a love note for February 9th. The guides came in with another kind of beautiful message that I think I will just read today and extrapolate at the end. And it's all about love being your superpower. Now, this is something I teach in the Warrior of Light program about how love is our strongest tool and our strongest power that we have to help disarm the dark. But sinking into that love, and especially that love for ourselves, can be one of our life's biggest challenges. And so today the guides really talked about why that's important. Now I will just read. They said, love really is your superpower. So truly love yourself first. When you start to recognize and really believe that you are a soul having a human experience, then it becomes easier to lean into and love your own divinity. Love yourself enough to want to align with that divine part of you, with your soul. Love yourself enough to have the courage to lean in and act through that alignment. Love yourself enough to actually be aware of what brings you joy and do more of that. Love yourself enough to distance yourself from the toxic, to hold strong barriers and boundaries that support your mental and emotional health. Love yourself enough to be kind to you, to throttle back on the incessant shoulds and the unrealistic expectations and demands. This doesn't mean to underachieve, but to quit setting yourself up for failure and disappointment and burnout. When you're acting from a place of real big love, they use that as a trigger for me to remind me of this book that I wrote, real standing for basically authentic, big, meaning have courage, don't play small, and love, obviously leading from a place of love. But they said when you lead from a place of real big love, you serve others from a place of genuine grace, rather than from a place of resentment and frustration and burnout. The love you shine into the world does indeed illuminate it. Love is your superpower. Simply fill yourself up with love first so that you can then shine it even brighter and more powerfully into the world. The world needs your love. The people you care about need your love. Your love is a superpower, but first you need your love. Be kind to you. You are so very worthy of your own love and your own appreciation. You are loved enormously. Honor that love by giving it to yourself too. So that was their message for today. More about self-love and about love being our superpower, but that nobody else can do the inner work of self-love for us. You know, we can see this out in the world when we have, love for others and we try to encourage them to remember their own greatness. And they have a hard time accepting that. If any of you have kids, you might have experienced this. It doesn't matter how many compliments and uplifting, encouraging, inspiring things I tell my daughter, man, she can be really hard on herself in her own head. In fact, one day I had to tell her she was criticizing herself for something. And I was like, hey, don't talk to my daughter that way. She's like, Mom, it's me talking to me. What do you mean? I said, if I wouldn't let anybody else in the world talk to you that way, I'm not going to let you talk to you that way either. And that really kind of struck her because she's now thrown it back at me a couple times when I'm saying unkind things about myself. But when you think about that, that's something I write about in the book too, that the bully in our brain is the voice we listen to more than any other voice. The conversations we have with ourselves are the conversations that we have more than with anybody else. And are those conversations loving? Are those conversations uplifting and inspiring and motivating and encouraging? Or are we cutting ourselves off at the knees at every turn? And can we stop that? I used to get so frustrated by that concept of, you can't love anybody else until you love yourself. And now I realize more and more how true that is. Because it's through our own self-love that we have an opportunity to heal. It's through our own self-love that we have the opportunity to fill those holes where the wounds once were. And until we do that, and until we share our own love with ourselves, are we loving others through our wounds instead of through our heart? When we see reflections of our wounded spaces in our relationships with other people, is that fair to them? Does that allow for unconditional love to actually happen? The love we give ourselves matters. It matters mightily, and nobody else can do that for us. I'll tell my daughter nice things. Heck, my mom used to tell me nice things. And it's all this idea of, oh, but you have to say that because you're my mom. So even when other people are trying to fill us up with compliments and encouragement and whatever, so often we're quick to discount it. My late husband used to say the nicest things, and I was like, you're just looking through love goggles. I'd play it off like it was like, can't really be real. It must be love goggles or whatever. And now I just wish I would have owned all of that, just owned all of it instead of deflecting back from my own wounds. That's what I'm working on these days, this idea of self-love. Because when we do that, and when we get to a place where we can truly, genuinely appreciate ourselves, imperfections and all, and actually find gratitude for ourselves, recognizing our strengths and our powers, and even the places that we're weak, and deciding that that's okay too, because it's a part of who we are, and we can be appreciative of all of who we are, man, that makes our relationship with us and our potential relationships with others that much sweeter and that much deeper. And if we are going to shine as bright as we possibly can in this world, if we are going to hold as much love as we possibly can, we gotta start with ourselves. We have to. We have to, because our relationship with ourselves is the lens through which we see every single other relationship with every other single person in the world. Do we want that to be colored with love? Or do we want that to be colored with self-condemnation? We have a choice. We have a choice. And what the guides were saying today is that you are absolutely worthy of love. You have their love unconditionally. Absolutely unconditionally, you have their love. And now they're just asking that you have your love unconditionally too. So that is your love note for today. Hey, if you're watching, please go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe over there. I'm trying to increase the number of subscribers there. And I have a stack of these books. This was my first book. There's a stack of them left over there, and I would love to get rid of them. So you can order it off Amazon, or if you want me to sign and inscribe a copy, I would love to do that and ship it to you if you're in the US or Canada. You can Venmo me, and the details are down below, and I'd be happy to do that, because I'd love to get rid of those books that I have left. Good messages too, about silencing the bully brain and about loving yourself even more, and how it can make a difference in the contribution you make in the world. The world needs our love. That's how we help heal the world. We need our own love, and that's where the journey really starts. So love yourself enough to know you're worthy of your love, and then go pay that love forward. I will talk to you tomorrow.